Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we're playing a new brew that I'm trying out, which is a Rakdos Pestilence deck. The reason I thought this might be good is Pestilence is a deck that thrives off of having ramp and getting as much black mana as possible, and Cleansing Wildfire is pretty much the best way in the format to ramp. So we're trying to combine these two cards. Of course, that means we have a bunch of indestructible bridges, 4 Drossforge Bridge, and I've split the difference on 2 Dark Moss Bridge, 2 Slagwoods Bridge. Generally, in Jund Wildfire, you want to have all red bridges, so that if you have a bridge, you also can have the red mana to play Wildfire. However, we also want to have as much black mana as possible, so we split the difference and hopefully it won't be too awkward here. We're playing 1 mountain to fetch in case we need additional red mana, mostly swamps, and then a couple Twisted Landscapes, which can also fetch up that mountain, or be cycled later since we have green mana off of a couple of our bridges. But in addition to Cleansing Wildfire, we're also playing Cleansing Wildfire's much worse cousin, Geomancer's Gambit. This is 3 mana to do basically the exact same effect of Wildfire, except it puts the basic land onto the battlefield untapped. So for that turn, it essentially nets the same amount of mana, paying 3 but you get 1 back, whereas Cleansing Wildfire just costs 2 in the first place. It's obviously worse because you can't cast it on turn 2, and you have to have something else on that turn for that additional mana to not just be a waste. But I figured I'd go all in on trying to get as many basics onto the battlefield as possible. Also, to utilize our indestructible lands, we have 3 Daily Indoctrination. This can make an indestructible creature, which can keep our Pestilence around forever, or it can attack our opponent's hand if they have a permanent we want to get rid of. We're also playing the Food Pest package with 4 Lembas, 4 Nutrient Block, and a couple Cauldron Familiars. These can, similar to the Daily Indoctrination, allow us to have a creature that continues to come back from the graveyard so that our Pestilence never dies. And then for card advantage, we have 2 Eviscerator's Insight, 4 Fanatical Offering, some Wellsprings, 2 Nile Spellbombs, and a Campfire to gain some life and not mill out if we go up against a really grindy deck. We're also playing a playset of Cast Downs because of course we are. And sideboard we have 3 Duress, 2 Extracted Confession, 3 Cast in the Fire, some Pyroblasts, and Krark Clan Shamans. So let's take this for a league and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a league video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. Well, I'll have to look at the footage. I'm not exactly sure if I've been recording any of this match, but they're playing Spy, and for some reason they haven't been cycling some of these cyclers. We got a Pestilence out, and we're holding Cleansing Wildfires to blow up their lands at some point, although they play Quarian Ranger, which would make that harder, but of course I could just Pestilence this down, so I'm not too worried. Untap this, and Lotus Petal. I guess they could play Spy right now. They still have, I think, 2 lands in their deck, although I guess with the Lotus Petal they could cycle 1 of these first. I think they're going for it just because they know the Pestilence is coming, obviously, but they have 1 land left in their deck, I assume. They're just hoping for the best. And they hit 3 cards. Nice. Another Swamp, so they're playing 2 Swamps in their deck, too. Well, I'm going to Pestilence to wipe their board mostly, and then I'm going to double Wildfire them because I assume they have no basics left. Although with 2 Swamps, maybe they do have 5 lands in their deck? Nope, looks like not. Bit of a bummer that I might have not had this full match recorded, because I think we're going to be in a pretty good spot now. They have no lands, and I don't think this Balustrade Spy is going to go the distance. So we get game 1. Krark's about it. I mean, they're playing Elves, Quarian Ranger, Mesmeric Fiend, so I guess Casting the Fire is not bad. Get rid of Campfire. Daily is good. Geomancers is good since we can blow up their stuff. We don't need as much card draw in this match, I don't think. I'm not sure we even need the Familiars, really, because, like, if we get Pestilence to go off as we saw even once, it probably is going to be good enough. So let's try that. This hand is generally, like, decent, medium, but it just doesn't have any removal or interaction of any kind, so I think we're going to trade it in. This one's better with Spy. Not Spy, Spellbomb, Indoctrination. I guess we'll get rid of the Gambit here. It's either that or the Pestilence. Not really sure which is better. They start with a Wildling. And I'm just going to play the Spellbomb. They can't Vandal it this turn unless they get like a Lotus Petal, cycle a guy. And I don't know. I think I'd rather have it on the field in case they wanted to like Fiend right away. Now I think I just want to Indoctrination. I could potentially take away a Masked Vandal. I could take away a Spy. Yeah, they have 2 Generous Sense. 2 land grants. Lead the Stampede. Yeah, we're taking a spy. They're going to cycle a Genercent for a forest. And I assume we'll see a lead the Stampede. Battlement, Elves, Gate Creeper, Spy. Discard a land grant. Alright, we get a bridge. Start with a Lembas. Casting the Fire. So they have Elves that it could kill, but that's pretty much it. Next turn they will probably play like Elves Battlement. Maybe Gate Creeper Battlement. Yeah, I don't think we need that right now. Play our bridge. There's the Gate Creeper Vine. Pulls out their Swamp. Into Masked Vandal. That must have been their draw for the turn. They hit Spell Bomb. Not great, but also they didn't play a Battlement, which is nice. So I could Cleansing Wildfire, and if they don't have like an extra land, which I'm hoping they didn't like side in an extra land, then I think we're good. I mean, otherwise I play a Pestilence, they spy, and I lose. So I think we might as well try this. If it works and they don't get a Lotus Petal, then they can't play a spy this turn. Although I draw a Pestilence, which is not very good. We don't have anything to play. They play Elves and the Battlement this time. So I can like Pestilence, wipe the Elves, but then Battlement kills us. Well, Battlement plays Spy and kills us. So another Spell Bomb or something is necessary. Play a Wellspring. Casting the Fire kills the Elves, but again, that does not make a difference. So I'm just going to leave up mana to threaten something scary, like a Crypt Incursion or something. Play a Caretaker, Quarian Ranger, and they just go for the Spy. No fear of a Crypt Incursion. We will die. Didn't have enough interaction. I know a lot of the Golgari Food Pest lists have been running Go for the Throats as additional copies of like Cast Down, either in the main deck or sideboard. We don't have that, which is a bit unfortunate. This hand has a Cast Down and a Krark, although we only have one artifact. I think we'll give it a try, but we need to hit some Wellsprings or Lembas for the Krark to be very effective, because we don't have Death Touch in the deck. They play a Swamp and Land Grant. They have a Lotus Petal if they want to play like a 2-drop or like an Elves this turn. They do go for the Gate Creeper Vine. Getting another Swamp. We get a Cast Down. So Daily Indoctrination also has a fun interaction with a Landscape. I could play the Landscape, not this turn because I don't have the mana, but I could play the Landscape next turn, Daily Indoctrination onto it, crack it for a Swamp, and then it comes back to the battlefield, which means I can ramp with it. Although it's back to the battlefield tapped, so it doesn't ramp twice in that same turn, because I could use more lands, but I think I probably should just Indoctrination take the Spy here. We have double Cast Down, which is nice, and we have a Krark, which will hopefully be good at some point if we get some more lands, or artifacts rather. They'll play Elves, pass. There's a Wellspring, so they have 3 mana. Quarian, they could have 4. They could have another Spy, which means for safety I probably should just play the Krark right away. Don't think I want to use it this moment, but if they play the Ranger I probably will with the Wellspring. They're going to lead the Stampede. They hit just Genercent and Sagu Wildling. They play Swamp and pass. Another Cast Down. I mean, part of me wants to draw this card now so I could just sacrifice to kill the Elves. They still have this Quarian Ranger. I don't think I need to do that. I guess I can attack here. If they wanted to block, I could kill them both for just 1. But I think we'll pass. Like, I have an emergency Krark on 2 if I really need. I don't know. Here they can play the Ranger and then try to go for casting a Wildling, but in response to them bouncing this Elves, which would tap for 1. Yeah, they could play Saga Wildling, so I'm just going to respond by using this Wellspring. We get another Krark. Okay. So yeah, I don't think I want to sack that bridge. Now they have a lead the Stampede. Sure. Battlement, Caretaker, Spy. They're not going to cycle the Genercent for their last land, it looks like. They might want to leave it in the deck in case they get hit by a Wildfire, I suppose. No, they land grant, never mind. But they still leave it in hand, which I don't think that makes any sense. I'll crack this for... If I get a Wildfire, I want it to be red, so I could play the Krark, but I think we just do a Swamp here. I should maybe just cast down the Gate Creeper Vine, because I currently am pinched on mana, but I don't know. Doesn't seem very good. We discard a Wildling. We get an Offering. So I probably just play Krark, and then I'm offering it at the end step here, but it makes them reconsider playing things, potentially. Forest, they have a Battlement, Caretaker. Probably want to kill the Battlement no matter what, so I'm going to do that now in case I get like a Nutrient Block or something I'd rather sacrifice to the Offering. Lembas. I think that counts. I would like to have this for the Krark, but I really need to hit land drops. Well, I now have a Krark for 3 if I really need, which means if they just go for a spy, I can not die, probably. There's a Ranger. They untap the Caretaker. They could just play like a Generous Ent this turn. Probably the best call for them. Oh, they cast Dread Return on Spy here. Okay. It enters. They target us. That's fine. Then Dread Return can bring back nothing that scary. Okay, I mill a couple. And they pass the turn. Interesting. Slagwood's Bridge. So there's nothing I immediately need to cast down, I don't think. They can spy again. They're just trying to get more flyers, I guess, so that they dodge the Krark. That makes some sense. I think I just play this and pass. They would still need like 2 more guys. Or I guess they just have a spy and like a 1-drop that they play afterwards. Okay, Wildling, that's a flyer. Sure. So the question is, do I go for a cast down on one of these guys? Because I don't think I do it now, because next turn if they go for it, then I can wipe the board of these guys, and then I can cast down one of the flyers, and they won't have the creatures, and they should die. Well, on the end step, I'm going to offering a Nutrient Block, because it keeps our artifact count the same, draws us some cards. More cast downs is not bad. Swamp's good too. So I can play a Nutrient Block. We have 5 artifacts and just pass. And then I have double cast on the fire, or double cast down if they go for a spy win. I guess I maybe should have just wiped these 3, because now they have more mana. I think if they try to untap with the Quirion Ranger, I'll probably wipe them in response. I don't know. Lotus Petal. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I could wipe in response, and then they could still play like a Generous Ent, but they have to crack the Lotus Petal for it. I think we just do that. Draw off the block, sacrifice, sacrifice. Take out the Ranger, the Caretaker, the Vine. And then if they spy themselves, I just have cast downs in response, which they do. Kill a Wildling, and then they're going to cast their Battlement, and then I'll cast down again in response. So they have to have another creature for 1 mana here, and I know one of their cards is a Generous Ent. I'm hoping their last card is not a 1-drop. Looks like it's not. All right, and we win match 1. All right, we're actually recording the beginning of this match now, and we have an okay hand here. Start with the bridge. Looks like we're against Gardens, or it could be another Pestilence deck. Either way, looks like a control mirror match. Oh, never mind. Survivor's Encampment means we're at Dredge. The Town Greeter get a Holdout Settlement, which it does not reveal here. We'll take 0. Message received. Deadly Indoctrination, I could take a card from their hand. Fortunately, most of the cards they have, they want to put in their graveyard. So I think I'd rather just draw some cards here. Wildfire's not bad, although I obviously would have preferred that this turn to have started ramping immediately. Circle of the Land Druid. Mills 4. 2 Dread Returns already in grave. We're looking for spell bombs, of course. They play the Settlement and swing for 1. We get a Limbus. I'm going to just Wildfire because I'd love to ramp here. Bring out a Swamp and we get a Dark Moss Bridge, so I'll play that. We take 2 from their Assault. Probably going to Deadly Indoctrination this turn just so we have a blocker. Yeah, Molten Gatekeeper, especially for that. So we get a blocker, plus if we get our Pestilence, we'll have the creature that can stick around. Oh, they're going to just Dread Return right now for a Generous Ent. Okay, well, we have a cast down as well, but another reason to go for the Indoctrination is blocker for that guy. And a Calling Garden. This Gatekeeper could definitely deal a lot of damage in the long run. So we're going to put this onto our Dark Moss Bridge and play a Nutrient Block, and then I can hold up cast down or Eviscerator's Insight. Scrapwork Mutt comes back from the grave, discards a Holdout Settlement. So I'm probably blocking here and casting down the Generous Ent. Maybe I cast down the Gatekeeper, actually, because Generous Ent just gets blocked every turn. They go for a Rumble, hit some Knot to the Bones, get a Satyr Wayfinder in hand. And they play that Satyr Wayfinder. They have some Dread Returns, so if they hit a big guy, there's a Giant. They could reanimate it, which would hit for a bunch. Yeah, this is not going great. Sack those 3 for the Giant, which is going to deal us 7, plus 1 from the Gatekeeper. Attack with both. I think we block the Gatekeeper, unfortunately. Cast down here. We can gain a little bit of life to offset the Gatekeeper damage, and then I can block the Lotleth Giant. That's my goal anyway. But a Spell Bomb would go a long way. Pestilence is not really what we need at the moment. Let's Lembas. Just a bridge. Crack a Nutrient Block. Gain 3. Draw another Pestilence. Alright, well, we'll pass. Let's see if we just die. I can gain another 3 and I can block one guy. That's all I have. Or if I don't need to gain the 3, I can draw 3 with the Insight on the Wellspring. There's a Scrapwork Mutt. They have another Dread Return, so if they just hit another Giant, we're gonna die. Discard Stinkweed Imp, and they mill a Giant. 2 of them, actually. They're going to cast a Stinkweed Imp, but they're definitely going to reanimate a Giant, so we're going to die. It doesn't really matter. We have some board clear, but we don't have any more board wipes, unfortunately. Or graveyard wipes, I mean. Geomancer's Gambit doesn't seem great against them. Like, it doesn't really help. Cast downs seem okay. Life gain and chump blockers are good. Well, this is a lot of really good cards on a one-lander that seems bad. This is some okay cards on a multi-lander, so we're going to keep and get rid of one of these. Go for a bridge. Pestilence. I'll just play a swamp. They play a Wayfinder and get a Wooded Ridgeline. Nutrient block. I'll play that. I don't want to play the Spellbomb until I'm ready to use it because they could just Ancient Grudge it right away. So we're definitely going to wait a couple more turns for it. There's an Ancient Grudge right now. They play Haunted Mire and swing for 1. And go for a Rumble. Finding Stinkweed Imp or Circle of the Land Druid. Just they take the circle. Just going to cast these guys into the fire right now. I'd prefer it to be 2 real creatures, so I can like exile the creatures from the graveyard at some point, but this offers mana and just gives them more guys for Dread Returns in the future. If I do this now, I'm allowed to hold up another one next turn, whereas if I just crack the Nutrient block at the end step here, then I might not be able to hold up a Cast in the Fire that I might want to, so that's why I'm doing it that way. We get a Swamp. Their graveyard is decently full, but it's nothing that scary. Couple Stinkweed Imps. They have another one in hand. I think we're just passing, though. They draw normally. Play Molten Gatekeeper. That's a good one to just exile with this Cast in the Fire, which I probably will. Let's crack a Nutrient block. And yeah, I think getting rid of that guy feels pretty good. We get a Lembas. Start with that. More lands aren't bad. Familiar's not quite what we need, I don't think. Okay, Cleansing Wildfire. I'll take the ramp. Get a Swamp and a Dark Moss Bridge. Alright, not a bad turn. We are tapped out, but they go for Stinkweed Imp and mill. Another Knot of the Bone, Forests, Town Greeter, like nothing too scary still. No Giants, no Dread Returns. There's a Scrapwork Mutt, which is surely going to discard and bring back a Stinkweed Imp. That milled a Gatekeeper. Okay, that's getting a little scarier, and a Generous Ant. They play Circle of the Land Druid. There's 2 Dread Returns. Play Colony Garden, so that can now Dread Return back. Probably a Generous Ant. I probably will Spellbomb them this turn, but of course I could have had it on the field already, but then they had an Ancient Grudge, so they just would have been able to blow it up. I couldn't have prevented this either way. I also get back another Colony Garden. Now we need to cast down for this guy. Oh, well that's helpful. I appreciate them obliging me. I'll play a Wellspring, Nutrient block. I think I'm just going to cast down and crack the Spellbomb right away. I could wait until their turn or something, but first of all, I could draw a land here. But more importantly, they have Knot of the Bone, which I'm not generally that scared about. But like, I don't see a... That's a great draw. I don't see a reason to just like let them get off like a free 25 life or whatever that I have to deal with later. And they probably don't, you know, trigger a Stinkweed Imp or unearth anything, and so I probably don't get a lot of value either way. They go for Town Greeter, milling a Lotless Giant, Generous Ant, and they just play a Stinkweed Imp and a Colony Garden. Krark. So I could play a Spellbomb, but again, I don't feel like it's that necessary. Pestilence could wipe these guys. I think we're fine for now. I guess I could Pestilence for 1 and then Krark. No. Well, I could Pestilence for 1 and the Stinkweed Imp's still around. That's actually not a bad idea, because then I make it so they can't Dread Return. Yeah, actually I kind of like that. Let's just Pestilence for 1 and pass the turn. They're going to swing for 1, which I'll take. And they're going to hard cast another Generous Ant. Okay, another cast down would be good. Oh, it didn't work that time. I'll play a Nutrient block, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have enough artifacts to sack everything to the Krark. Let's just crack this, see if I come up with anything. Wellspring. Play a Wellspring. Lembas. I think we'll just pass here. I could chump. I'll probably play Krark next turn and end up chumping the Generous Ant unless I find like a Cauldron Familiar or something. But I think we're fine for now. Now I can wipe everything for 2. I probably want to wait until the end step though, just so that if they play something in between, I can get rid of it as well. If they play another like Generosent, we're going to be in some trouble. Scrapwork Mutt. Pretty sure we know they still have a Stinkweed Imp in hand. Yep, only one got exiled and they had 3 earlier, so they could mill if they want here. So they do. They hit an Ancient Grudge, another Scrapwork Mutt, Town Greeter. They hard cast a Dread Return on a Lotleth Giant. Just going to ping for 4. If I let this return fully happen, though, then they could Dread Return back Generosent. I guess they'd have to sack the Giant for that, so that's fine. Sure, we'll take 4 here. So I could Pestilence for 2, but I actually think I'm just going to sacrifice this Lembas. And I might end up like using Krark plus Pestilence to wipe their board and then Spellbomb everything away. This is only 3rd Dread Return, 1st Lotleth Giant, so technically they could still have more after I Spellbomb this. I don't know. Swamp. I guess I could also just Pestilence for 7 and then Spellbomb, but I'm taking a lot of damage in that, which I don't really want to. Plus, I don't mind sacrificing the Wellsprings to the Krark. So let's just Lembas first. We already have a Swamp for this turn, so let's get rid of that. Cast down. Let's play Krark. So let's see. I Spellbomb for 4. And then I Pestilence for 3, and I can still hold up Cast Down. Alright, let's sack Wellspring. This very well might not be the right way to do this, but trying my best. Lembas shuffles in. Sack this. Oh, I guess I'm not going to have Cast Down because I'm going to need to Spellbomb here. And also the Pestilence is going to go away, but I'm hoping that's fine. Then Spellbomb, and I might as well just blow it up. I could wait, but like they are just going to Ancient Grudge us anyway. I guess I could make them do it, but we'll pass and see if they can kill us with 3 cards in hand and 10 cards in their deck. There's the other Stinkweed Imp. They just pass. Let's Cleansing Wildfire. They have plenty of mana that I don't really feel like cutting them off a land is going to matter. Nutrient block, play a bridge. I guess I'll crack the block right away. Play it. They have a food and another. Swing for 1. We'll crack our landscape or a swamp. Campfire's pretty good. Let's crack the nutrient block. Daily Indoctrination. Don't think I need to take anything from their hand. Although I'm not sure Earthbending 2 and like attacking them makes much difference either, but I guess I might as well do that and play a Campfire and a Krark. Pass. They swing for 1 and I'll gain 2. Alright, we win that game. See if we can do it one more time. Alright, we're going to keep this hand. We have Krark, which could be nice. We have the Spellbomb, which is the big thing. Let's see if we can take Dredge down. They Generous Ent for another Forest. Play that and Wayfinder. It's a holdout settlement. Wildfire's a nice draw. Let's start ramping. They Stinkweed Imp, hit Dread Return, Gatekeeper, Generous Ent. They unearth the Gatekeeper, play Circle of the Land Druid, and they're just going to Dread Return a Generous Ent right away, it looks like. Milling an Ancient Grudge. See, this is why it's tough. Like, I could have put a Spellbomb out already to prevent this from happening, but then if they just mill an Ancient Grudge, we use a Spellbomb for like 5 cards in their graveyard, and it's not very good. If I get a Cast Down, it's not a big deal because I can cast down the Generous Ent, but if we don't, we're going to be in kind of a tough spot. I mean, I could block it a turn with the Krark, but also circle back a Ridgeline. They have a Stinkweed Imp, Scrapwork. They have more Generous Ents if they get enough to Dread Return again, so should I play a Spellbomb already? I think we're going to Lembas to start. Fanatical Offering. I mean, more card draw is not bad, but do I have time for it? Guess we'll keep it. Play a Bridge. And I guess we're going to play a Nutrient Block. Hope we don't get hosed by not having the Spellbomb on the field. They Stinkweed Imp, another Stinkweed, and Lotleth Giant. They play a Scrapwork Mutt. They get a momentary blink, Gatekeeper, Scrapwork, Circle of the Land Druid. Unearth another Mutt, milling Dread Returns. They swing for 7, and then they unearth a Lotleth Giant, and we die with Spellbomb in hand. I mean, maybe it's always safer to just... I mean, it's always safer to use it earlier, but I feel like I've been punished many times by doing that. Playing it earlier, and then I don't have it for later when I need it, but maybe I'm the fool. Alright, on the play here, and just one lander's not going to cut it. I repeat. This one is fine. Get rid of Indoctrination, and... I mean, I kind of want the Gambit. Spellbomb could be good if we're against a lot of different things, though. So I guess I'll keep that. Play a Bridge and pass. Like, obviously, if we're against Dredge again, but also if we're against Terror or Spy, there's a land grant. Spy, Dredge, Spy is what we've played against so far. Good stuff. Just like before, I could just run out a Spell Bomb, which is probably safer because they have a Mesmeric Fiend, which could take it from our hand. Not sure they would play that early, but they might. That means they at least have to find a Masked Vandal. Sure, we'll do this. Cycle a Genericent, and there's the Mesmeric Fiend. Don't love losing a Lembas, but I guess it's better than losing the Spell Bomb. Fanatical Offering, well, don't really want to sack the Spell Bomb to that. I guess if they get a Masked Vandal this turn to blow it up, I can sack it, draw 3 in response. That's not terrible. Roost Seek for a swamp. Lotus Petal. Winding Way. Hits Gate Creeper, Wall of Roots, Lotleth Giant. Play an Overgrown Battlement. Well, I kind of feel like I need to draw something. I don't think there's a reason to crack the Spell Bomb, so I think I'm just going to crack a Bridge. Well, drew another Spell Bomb. Might be nice to have used one of those, but I'll put it on the field and pass. If we don't get something, we're just going to die to, like, Lotleth Giant being hard cast and then attacking in. Probably not this turn because they don't have the mana for that, but following turns. Wall of Roots. And there's the Vine. Fails to find, so they already have... Oh, they milled a forest. Right. Mesmeric Fiend. Finds nothing. I mean, a Krark would be pretty good here. I guess we don't have Krark in our main deck, so that's not going to happen. A Pestilence, once we have the mana, wouldn't be bad here. I mean, I guess Pestilence just to put down on the field wouldn't be terrible at all. Play a Wellspring and pass. They're going to play Troll of Khazad-dûm. Swing for 3. We're getting so many lands. I guess we're forced to crack a Spell Bomb because we're taking 9 damage here. Okay. Great. We actually get the Spell Bombs for once in our game 1, and we just draw exclusively lands otherwise. We'll take 9. They play a Genericent, and we will lose. Alright, we get Krarks and Cast in the Fire again. Alright, we'll give this one a try. We got some card draw. Krark could eventually be useful. Play a Swamp and pass. Wildfire. Dilate. Yeah, we didn't get any of our 8 Wildfires last game to deal with their lands. That was unfortunate. Slagwood's Bridge. I guess we're gonna indoctrinate them here. Masked Vandal. I think we gotta take that so they don't get rid of our bridge. Everything else they have in hand is just mana anyway. They go for a land grant, getting a forest, then Wall of Roots, into Gatecreeper Vine, into Battlement. So unfortunately they smartly held the swamp, so I can't kill that until they've had a chance to use it, because they have plenty of green mana. I don't need to shut them off one forest here, but shutting them off black would be nice. I think I'm going to Offering this Wellspring, trying to hit our land drop, which we will not. I guess we'll just play a Spell Bomb so that we don't die to a Spy. Then we're going to have a Troll we're going to have to kill, which we only need a couple more artifacts for, or Cast Down's pretty helpful for that. I think I could take a hit. I kind of want to blow up their swamp so they don't have black mana. As much as I want to ramp ourselves, I think this is better. And luckily we draw the swamp, so I just cast this down now. Oh, they have another swamp. Well, never mind. That didn't work. I guess they had the sideboard swamp, which means I'm going to need to get to 4 artifacts. Sure, we'll cast this down. If they have this Spy, we'll just lose. So be it. But we don't. Play a Wellspring. Another Krark. Krark. Campfire. I think we just wiped the board for 4. Well, I activated Krark, sacrificing the map, and didn't hold control because I forgot. And so it just didn't do anything. So there's a Genericent that we could have prevented from coming down. Crack a food token. We get a swamp. Okay. Well, the good news is I can just try again. Here's a Krark. Let's do this the right way now. Pestilence, and this time we even get to draw a card off our Spell Bomb. Look at that. Amazing. Sacrifice Campfire, sacrifice this bridge. Now we get a Lembas. Sure, I'll keep a Spell Bomb. Alright. We haven't lost yet, despite that bungle. Wall of Roots. We just need to find an answer to this Genericent. Pronto. Swamp. Indoctrinations can block for a couple turns, but I would love to find an indestructible land so it can block indefinitely. So we're just going to draw 2. There's the bridge. And we might as well just, do this while we have the mana now. Lead the Stampede. Hits 5 creatures. Okay. Caretaker. They attack for 5. Fanatical Offering. So I can block the Genericent this turn. They have 6 mana next turn. I can put a Pestilence on the field. They put a Genericent on the field. Next turn, I can maybe wipe everything. I don't know. Pretty sure we're not doing great. Partially because of the mishap. They don't attack. They play a Generous End. So if I want to not waste mana, I would need to Fanatical Offering the Spellbomb right now. Then if we can't kill these, we're at risk of dying to a Spy. We also need to hit a land if we want to actually wipe away all these Generous Ends. It's fine. I can cast down works. I can cast down one of these. I could Indoctrination to block once for a turn. And then it comes back. Actually, that also gives us something to offering, so that's not a bad idea. Let's go ahead and do that, actually. Earthbend onto one of these guys. Pass the turn. We'll block both of these. Fanatical Offering this one, which will come back to the battlefield tapped. We draw 2 and make a map. They pass the turn. We're going to Insight the map for some more stuff. Let's play a Lembas. Another cast down seems good. Play a Landscape. We're just going to pass the turn. They crack a food token. I'll block, cast down the other one. A Winding Way, hitting a Giants, Troll, and an Elves of Deep Shadow. Lotus Petal, and they pass. So we're going to sack the Landscape. I do need more black mana, but I could also blow up their swamp, and hopefully they don't have a 6th. If I want to get Mountain, or I could ramp us more. Pestilence for 6 is pretty good, though, or for 7, rather. Pretty good to have, but then we go down to really low, and they can Giant us from hand, and we'll die. We are going to sack this Lembas to gain some life, so we'd be back up at 6. I think I want to get the Mountain. Cut off their mana a little bit. Lembas. They still have Caretaker and Lotus Petal, so they're not fully out of black if they do that, but they discard 2 land grants. We get a swamp anyway. Okay, so I could also just Pestilence for like 4 to wipe these away, and then Wildfire this. Okay, let's go for the Wildfire, see if that works this time. It did. Pestilence for 4, then all they can play is this small stuff. I think that's what we do. So they do have 1 black mana, but it's off a Lotus Petal, which they would have to sacrifice for. Elves of Deep Shadow. I think I might as well keep the cast down around, even if I have mana here, but I probably just want to pick off the Elves. So let's do that. Now we'll play a Lembas. Don't need another land. Play a Dark Moss Bridge. Play a Nutrient Block. Pass the turn. They have a Lead the Stampede. I mean, they're looking for a Masked Vandal. They find 2 to get rid of this, but then I can still just cast down the Ent, so I'm not too worried. Crack a Nutrient Block. Crack a Lembas. And since we're gaining life, getting pretty close to overtaking them, I think we just hit them with the Pestilence for 1. They have to discard 4 cards, which is Gatecreeper, Troll, Generous End, Saga Wildling. Play a Lembas. Fanatical is not bad. Landscape. Play a Nutrient Block. And we'll pass. So we're definitely going to Vandal this guy. I could blow up their graveyard in response, and then they just cycle something. So, well, I guess I should see if they go for the Spellbomb, because they could. Yeah, they go for this guy, which I think I just Offering. And then it returns. Not as a creature, but at least we still have the bridge. Even if it got exiled, it would, but I might as well draw 2 off of it. Cast in the Fire. I will cast down the Ent. They're going to pass. We have a couple basics left. Sack a Nutrient Block. Cast in the Fire hitting a Lotus Petal is actually pretty relevant here, too, because it takes them off 4 mana, takes them off black. Although Cleansing Wildfire would be another nice draw. Let's go for a Nutrient Block. Get a tap land. We will exile that Petal. Play a Bridge. Pass the turn. And I think we've won this one, which is nice. I guess we did lose our Indestructible guy, so the Pestilence could go away at some point, but also I just have more Pestilences, so I'm not too worried about that. They swing for 1. So Eviscerator's Insight. I did sack the Campfire, and we're at 16 cards in hand, or in library, but I think we'll be fine. Play a Wellspring. I guess, do we have any Dialis left? No, we used all 3, and we took out the cats, didn't we? So Pestilence is our main win con. Good to keep in mind. So let's just play a Swamp, pass the turn, and we're just going to start Pestilence bombing them. Activate for 3, wipe their guys, then they'll play nothing, so it goes away. I'll hit them for another 5, and gain life off the Lembas. Then it'll go away, but now we're above them in life. They have to discard something. It's a Wildling. We'll play this, and I guess I might as well wait until they've played a creature, because I'm going to have to Pestilence and do it again right away on my turn. There's no way they can kill us, though. It's fine. We'll just Pestilence them a bunch. I mean, I don't foresee a way they can kill us here from 6 with 3 green mana, and we have a Spellbomb on board, but hey, if they do it, good for them. They play a Caretaker and a Vandal. I will crack the Spellbomb, and then I will Gain some extra life, just to make sure there's no way they can deal us 1, I guess. Pestilence them a bunch. Alright. Despite our attempts at throwing, we won that one. It's tough to find things to cut. Of course, the Geomancer's Gambits do get good, as we see, if we can wipe the board. Casting the Fire is not bad, but it's not the best. Let's try bringing them back in. I mean, Campfire doesn't do anything except triggers the Krark, which is relevant. Cast the Fire can be good against an Elves and like a Ranger, though. I guess Insights, like, we're good there because we went super late game, but usually they're not as important. We have a decent curve. Hopefully we don't get Vandaled right away. They mulligan to 5. Start with a Lotus Petal. Cycle an Ent for a Forest and Caretaker. I mean, it's a good start for them, but obviously with the Lotus Petal, it's almost like a mulligan to 4. Land Grant, they have Wall of Roots, lead the Stampede. Yeah, not a bad start. There's Wall of Roots. If I got a cast down, I would probably just kill the Roots right now. I could just play like a 1-drop, like a Spell Bomb, which is safe, but we don't need it this turn. There's no way they should be able to win. So I probably should just play like a 2-drop, like a Lembas. Pestilence is not where we're at right now. Krark is a lot better. Pretty dang good with all these nutrient blocks, I will say. They go for the lead the Stampede, hit Vandal and Wildling. Wildling is going to find one of their lands. They'll pass. You get another bridge. I'll play Krark, bridge, and if I play Nutrient Block, I shouldn't need to Spell Bomb because I can blow up their creatures so we wouldn't die to a Spy. I don't want to play the Spell Bomb while they have the Vandal, at least not right now. They go for a Winding Way. Hitting 4 cards, that takes them out of their mulligan pretty nicely. There's a Gatecreeper Vine, finding a Forest. Play Overgrown Battlement. Another bridge. So obviously I could Geomancer's Gambit here, but I'm pretty sure they have 5 lands, so we don't really want to do that to them. I could just play Nutrient Block and hit them for 4, wipe their whole board. That's probably best. Then they have a Vandal, Gatecreeper, some Trolls, Genersent. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, let's do it properly as well. Nutrient Block, float 2 mana, crack this, draw a card, crack this, draw a card, crack the Lembas. We're at 4 toughness for the battlement, so we'll crack the green bridge. I'm going to Fanatical Offering the Krark. So wipes their board. We even get another Spell Bomb. We'll pass. They could Mass Vandal away a land, but that's not too devastating for us. And then we get double Spell Bomb after that, which feels pretty good. They do go for the Vandal and a battlement. Geomancer's Gambit. I mean, I'd probably just play double Spell Bomb here with the bridge. There's no way we can die. They can only play a 5-drop unless they just top deck their last land. So yeah, let's just do that and pass. Lead the Stampede. 2 Quirions, Elves, Caretaker, Spy. That's pretty good hit. Because we lost that land, we can't Pestilence for 1 next turn, which would hit all the Quirion Rangers and stuff. Gatecreeper Vine. I guess we could use another Krark. They declined to use its ability. They didn't fail to find, they just said no. I think they're intentionally leaving a land in their deck, which they can fetch out the turn they go for the Spy, which is smart. Oh, we get another Krark. That's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I don't go for Krark now, then they get to just play a bunch of big guys. And then Pestilence can wipe away the small elves. That's fine. I'm going to have to sack these Spell Bombs, though. Also going to have to sacrifice a land. No, I want to draw. I was going to go for a Gambit, but I want to draw off these Spell Bombs if I'm cracking them. Cracking them both seems pretty risky. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do 2 lands and only crack 1 of them. But I can't really afford to lose my lands. I'm already not loving that I'm doing that at all. I could just do 3, but then this sticks around. That's not very good. If I crack everything, Spell Bombs might not be necessary, because then I just 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm not going to be able to Pestilence next turn. Oh my gosh, this is tough. I could just throw down a Pestilence, but they could power out like a Genersent and a Troll probably. Doesn't seem very good. I think we gotta wipe the board. So here's a Krark. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I Indoctrination onto a bridge, it comes back when I sacrifice it, which might be the play. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I get to keep 1 Spell Bomb and 1 land. Bend onto this guy, I guess. Tap for black. Sacrifice. Sacrifice. Pay the black. Wildfire. Sacrifice. If I have double red, next turn I can blow up both their swamps. Maybe that's good. Or I could ramp us. Sacrifice this. It comes back. I kind of think I just sacrifice the Spell Bomb and I just try to keep creatures off the field. And I don't care as much about. Yeah, because then I can Pestilence this next turn for 1. Yeah, let's just sack the Spell Bomb. This could definitely be a throw, but this is how I feel is the better play. There's a Ranger. Like, if I'm lucky, all they can do this turn is play Rangers and Elves of Deep Shadow, and then I can wipe them all away with the Pestilence. We get another Kark. I guess if I wipe them all away with the Pestilence, then Pestilence dies, which I don't really want to happen. I could go for a Wildfire, but they still have an Elves here, so that's not very good. If I don't put a Kark on the field now, or Pestilence them away, then I could just lose to the Spy. Pestilence just dies, though. I have to kill these also. They play big guys. Alright, I'm just gonna Pestilence for 1. We've deliberated a lot. We also have a pretty low clock at this point. Korean Ranger. Hopefully there's no extra Elves of Deep Shadow, so then I can Geomancer's Gambit their Swamp. And if they do have another Swamp, which I am expecting, then I can Cleansing Wildfire it away. That worked. Now they have no black mana, ideally. They swing with the Ranger. Now I might just attack them with like an Indoctrination a bunch of times. Like that might be our win con, I suppose. Sacrifice this for a Swamp. Cast in the Fire kills. Let's see, Earthbend 2 onto this. That kills the Ranger. What does Ranger do right now? It gives him a 4th green, but that's it. 4th green doesn't really matter. I'm going to play this as an attacker. I don't think a 4th green matters. They don't have 4-drops that are green. There's a Caretaker. I mean, obviously it lets them like do this in a 3-drop, but Wellspring, Mountain. I guess we'll just swing. This makes black mana, so they could play a Spy. Oh, they could make a 4, 5, 6. They could play a Generous Ent off of this. I could kill this, or I could just Krark for 3. I want to keep my mana, I think. Let's just kill these two. Although this blocks. I don't know. And I might have to kill this later if they get any other guy to play, like another Ranger or something. Swamp. We will attack for 3. They don't block. Just gonna play our lands. If we get a card draw spell, we're gonna want to have as many lands on the field as possible. They discard a Troll. We'll attack with the team. Of course, if they do block this, either one of them I can kill it easier, is the idea. Like, if they block here, I can just sacrifice 2 things and kill it, which is nice for me. Lotus Petal. Does let him get a Spy out, although I can't stop that. Although, obviously, it doesn't let him combo with the Spy, because I could still just wipe away the Caretaker, plus they need another creature anyway. There's the Offering. We're just going to go for it here. See if we draw anything relevant pre-combat. Yeah, we can draw more. Also, Cast in the Fire. I did think if they just cast a Lotus Petal that Cast in the Fire could get it, which is kind of nice. They block the Krark this time. Sack the map. Cast down. We get a Lembas. I think we played a land. Plus we just don't need that. Alright, I'm going to Cast in the Fire. This... and then hold up Cast down, we have Krark, and then next turn I can Pestilence them for lethal. Might as well sack the Lembas to gain a little bit extra life, in case we get anywhere near there with the Pestilence, and they concede. Well, I guess this is the Spy killer, maybe? I mean, we have a couple spell bombs. We could definitely have, like, another Bojuka Bog or more spell bombs in the deck, but that with cast downs, with Pestilence, with Krarks is pretty good in this matchup, it seems. Alright, what Lolith Giant deck do we think they're going to be playing now? A lot of good cards, but it's a one-lander. We're going to mulligan. Another one-lander, we're going to mulligan again. Alright, this one's decent. Put back Familiar, and I guess we'll put back 1 land since we have the Wildfire, and I kind of want the block for the Offering. They start with a Mountain and pass. Just bolt to the face into a Rally at the Hornburg. Yeah, that's going to be tough. Krarks are once again going to be good from the side. I thought about putting Krark in the main deck, but I thought it might just be overkill with the Pestilences, but obviously here it would be pretty good. Pull out a Swamp. If we can survive, like Nutrient Blocks gaining life could be good, but here's an Epic here. They probably have a Bushwhacker or something. There it is. Not a great hand, or not a great matchup to have gotten rid of the Cauldron Familiar, that's for sure. I mean, I think I just play a Nutrient Block and I crack it. Like, if we have any shot of surviving, it's probably from this. I don't really expect to, because they only have to deal 5 additional damage here, but might as well try. There's a Rally, so we die to a Bolt. And we're dead. Krarks, Cast in the Fire in place of Spell Bombs and Cast Downs. I even might prefer Duress to a couple of these 3-drops. Like, Pestilence is expensive, but if we survive to the late game, then it gets pretty good to just have a way to wipe all the creatures for a mana and a damage. Alright, we have I guess this one's okay. We have land drops, although mostly tapped. We do have a Cast into the Fire to counteract like a rally. Then we have a Lembas or two, which is, you know, life gain's good. It is expensive. But ideally, Lembas can find us a Krark or something, which would be good. So that's the goal. Play a bridge and pass. Question is going to be if I just want to leave Cast into the Fire up instead of playing a Lembas, which I think I probably do, especially with the Percussionist. Worst case scenario, I could just exile the Percussionist, which is like not the best use of Cast into the Fire. But if they go for a rally, obviously I can just kill that. They just Goblin Tomb Raider. Yeah, I guess I'll exile this. I mean, it also reduces the costs or the damage of the Tomb Raider for the turn, which is kind of nice. Oh, they went to combat. I should have exiled it right then because they wouldn't have been able to attack at all. So I could have taken one less damage. That would have been better. All right, here I could play a nutrient block and use it. Also, you know, threatening another Cast in the Fire or something. But I could start looking for stuff with Lembas. I think we will. Cauldron Familiar is actually really good with all the food we have. Let's play that. I probably won't block the Tomb Raider, but obviously it can trade with any 1/1. Or I would block a 2-power creature. So if this says 2 power, I'd block there. Obviously, we don't gain as much life from the familiar as if we crack a food, but if it blocks 1 or 2 damage and gains us a life, it's mostly the same, and it's free to do so, which is obviously better. There's a Bushwhacker. So yeah, since this can block 2 damage here and come back and give us 1 life, it's definitely worthwhile. We will cast Lembas. I guess here I could have just played Nutrient Block, held up cracking the Lembas, and then also cracked the block with a familiar. Might have been better. Offering can get pretty good with the familiar later, so I think we'll do that. And then play this. Hope we don't die. We're going to bring this back, sacking the block. So I could trade with the Epic here, which is obviously the best value. We go to 9. They'd have to have triple bolt, and I could bring this back to prevent that. So they'd have to have double bolt and Fire Blast to kill us. I think we're going to take that chance. Whereas if I block here, they couldn't kill us even with all that stuff. Actually, I guess if they triple bolted in response to the blocks there before the damage, I wouldn't be able to bring it back and gain a life, but whatever. All right, we're going to duress, see if they have a bunch of burn they want to use in response. There's a bolt, there's a Galvanic Blast for 2, and a mountain. All right, so we're not dead yet. So I think we just bring this back right now so we don't die to a Fire Blast. And then I'm going to block and Fanatical Offering it. Yeah, block and draw 2. Campfire is a good draw. Play Campfire, activate Campfire, play a bridge, and we'll just pass. Blood away a mountain. I guess we actually might as well just put this back on the field. Gain the life before they can amass a bunch of burn. Burning Tree Emissary. Cast into the fire. So we'll offering it. We'll take 1 from the Tomb Raider. Activate Campfire. Play Lembas. Offering. Play a landscape. We're going to Earthbend. They got enough creatures that having this around, I think, is good. As a blocker, and then pass. Another Tomb Raider. Doesn't have haste. Gonna bring back Cauldron Familiar, gaining a life, and then I'm gonna offering it to draw 2. Draw our Lembas yet again. Play Lembas. Scry Wellspring. Probably don't need that. Activate Campfire. Play Lembas. Cleansing Wildfire, why not? We'll pass the turn. There's a Percussionist. Bring back Cauldron Familiar. Block here. We'll block here so that they lose the artifact for the Tomb Raiders. They have a synth, so obviously they get their artifacts back. Cast it, turn up a Tomb Raider. Play a mountain. Gonna bring back Cauldron Familiar now. I gain more life by doing the Lembas here, but I actually just wanna, I think, map onto this Familiar a bunch of times. And I'll Campfire. Map here. Map again, 1 land, and then we get a Nutrient Block. We'll leave that on top. Map again, Nutrient Block. So now we have a 3/3. Play a Wellspring. Play Cleansing Wildfire. And we'll pass. They bolt the Familiar after all that hard work I just put into it. They swing, hitting us for 4. We have another Cleansing Wildfire. Campfire. Nutrient Block. Play a bridge. Might as well bring this back, see if we draw a card that we want to use right away. We do, actually, I think. Cast in the Fire, getting rid of the synth. They could get a bolt or something they could use, but this way they can't get a samurai. And if they get anything sorcery speed, like a Bushwhacker, then it's a waste. Another Tomb Raider. Geomancer's Gambit. We'll cast that, ramp some more. There's the Pestilence. Campfire. Might as well just Pestilence for 2. Wipe their guys away. Swing for 2. And I have still have Pestilence up for if they get like a haste guy, and we win that game. Alright, 1 lander, no. 2 lander with some Krarks, yeah. I think I'll keep 2 Krark, honestly. Or I get rid of the Duress. Well, it's Duress or Krark. I guess I'll get rid of 1 Krark after all. Yeah, I don't know. Duress seems like taking a cast in the fire before they get our bridge could be important. Not that I love playing the bridge on turn 3, but Campfire as well. Yeah, I think we could get really hosed if this gets exiled. Ooh, okay. They don't have a very good start, which is nice for us. I think we just take a synth for value. They have a percussionist. Swing for 2. We get another offering. So I can play block or Campfire. Campfire doesn't do anything here, and it would give him the opportunity to exile it. Might as well just play the block, especially because I might want to sacrifice that to the Krark next turn. They play a synth into a mountain, into a percussionist. So just a basic land would be nice here. Oh, they also blast us right away. I think I'm just going to Krark and crack it so I can maybe hit a land drop. Then it gives them the ability to use these on their turn and also attack us with haste creatures. So that's probably not the best plan. We're already so low on life. I think I just need to play this Campfire and then crack this during their turn. Hoping for the best. They're going to attack. We'll sacrifice. Wipe their board. Another offering's not quite what I want. They exile double mountain. I mean, that's pretty good for me. Like, they're hitting their land drops, but not killing us with them at the moment. Burning tree into discard of blood and pass. Well, I can Campfire to offset the damage, but we're not making any progress. So I kind of think I need to Wellspring here. Like, if we don't hit a land, it's kind of bad because now we can't activate Campfire. But, like, what do I do? Just play a nutrient block and then Campfire and let them develop more and, like, bolt us? Like, I don't know. I think I need to get lucky there. Crack the synth into another synth, which they might as well play, into a Tomb Raider, and they drew a mountain for turn. So we're at 3 now. We get an insight. I guess I play a familiar and activate Campfire, but we chump block, we go to 2, probably die to whatever they have. Crack a synth, Burning Tree Emissary, and Epicure, we go to 1. I guess if we get another Krark off the top, our last one, I could survive. Swamp, play Offering for the Wellspring. We don't draw a Krark, unfortunate. Alright, we are against Kalikais in this last round. They mulligan to 6. I guess I'll keep it. Not confident that my Jank Brew is going to be able to deal with whatever they're playing. But I guess if they're doing Ruby Storm, which is what it looks like, a nice cast down can interfere with that a lot. I don't think I can afford to just leave up a cast down here. If they have the turn 3 win, so be it. Spellbomb is not bad in this matchup if they're playing Seize the Storm. They play another mountain and just pass. So here, I think I will leave up Spellbomb, cast down, because I can Offering. Like, I couldn't do it last turn because I didn't have anything to Offering, but now if I don't cast anything, I can just draw 3. Play a Hickory Woodlot. We will draw more Geomancer's Gambits. So let's... I could blow up their land, but I don't think that's what we need to be doing. Geomancer's Gambit for a swamp. Play a swamp and pass the turn. Discard a bridge. There's a Reckless Impulse. Getting big score in a land. Offering this map. Cleansing Wildfire. Let's go for Geomancer's Gambit. I think we get a mountain this time. Then I can Wildfire, get a swamp, play a swamp, hold up some draw again. I mean, we're ramping a ton, finally, which is pretty cool. I do fear that one cast down is not going to be able to stop them from going off here, but we'll do what we can. There's the Anarchomancer. We'll try to kill it right away. Seething Song into Glimpse the Impossible. Reckless Impulse in 2 lands is a bit of a whiff. I mean, the Impulse is good, but Ren's Resolve, Seize the Storm. Yeah, that one's not a whiff. Manamorphose, first day of class. Morphos is going to make a bunch of red. First day of class. So this makes a elemental with this token's power toughness equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard plus the number of cards with flashback and exile. So once I exile his graveyard, this is going to shrink a lot. So I should be able to survive with the spell bomb, but we will find out. It's possible we will not. Firebending Lesson. Another Thornscape. Leyline Weaver. There's the big score. Discard the Firebending Lesson. Netting mana there. And there's the Seize the Storm, making a big guy. With the trigger on the stack to get a counter, I could have exiled their graveyard, but this still counts itself in exile because it's flashback, so it wouldn't actually have killed the elemental, so it doesn't really matter. So I can blow up their graveyard so that I take like 9-ish damage less. This becomes a 2/2, so I'll take 8. They make a bunch of guys, but then I get to Pestilence, wipe their board for 3. So I'm not too worried, because I think this will just win the game, I assume. It's possible they could come back from this, but it seems tough. And I'll play a Wellspring. We are tapped out here, and the Pestilence goes away, but I could have used it more, but we were much lower than they are, so doesn't seem great. There's the Anarchomancer and a Thornscape. I guess they could just go for beat down with those guys. Big score. And a Pirate's Pillage, discarding to seize the storm. Pirate's Pillage again, and an Electric Revelation. Another one. They have a Mountain, a Manamorphose, Glimpse the Impossible. What's that hit? A First Day of Class. Okay. So these guys get counters. Alright, I need another Pestilence then. A Daily blocks one guy. Origin of Metal Bending entered their hand. Okay. Well, we're going to draw some cards. Daly's not going to win it by itself. Cast down's fine. And then Daily, I think we keep looking for Pestilence. No, because we're only going to have 4 mana. That won't kill everything. And I guess we might as well. I'll play Olympus. Nutrient block and gain us some life. But they have a Seize the Storm in the graveyard, which I guess can't get haste at the moment. I don't think Nutrient block does anything. We'll get rid of it. I'm going to cast down an Anarchomancer, and I think I might as well Earthbend here so that I don't die to just attackers, but we're definitely not in a great spot. They recovered more from the Pestilence than I thought they would. Pirate's Pillage, discarding the Origin. First Day of Class again. Waterbending Lesson. Another Familiar. Big score, discarding that. Pirate's Pillage, Ren's Resolve hits a Reckless Impulse and a Needle. Alright, we take that first game, and we get Duress, Extract is okay, Quark is good, Cast in the Fire kills half of their guys. Daily can take not that much from their hand. Maybe we hit a creature, but that doesn't seem very good. The blocker's not great either, usually. Campfire's no good. I think Cauldron Familiar is kind of a waste. Like, their big guy has Trample, so it doesn't get chump blocked. I don't need Pestilence to survive multiple turns. Like, it'd be nice if it does. I guess it kind of gives us a lock if we do have it. I'm taking out the Daily. I don't know. The Gambits can probably go. Alright, we have double Wildfire, Quark. That seems good. I mean, I'd like to have an artifact to sacrifice to the Quark that's not our land, but hopefully we can get there. They do mulligan to 5, which helps. Start with a bridge. There's a cave. Of course, I could, like, Wildfire some of their lands that tap for 2. I don't think that's the best here, and I think I'd rather ramp. I'm going to get a Mountain, though, just in case I want to, like, Wildfire and Quark, which is a total possibility. Pestilence is good. Let's Wildfire. And I do think I might as well just put Quark on the field. I guess I can kill it with the Firebending Lesson, which could be relevant, but go for Ren's Resolve and pass. We'll play a Cauldron Familiar and a bridge, leave up our interaction. They go for another Ren's Resolve, hitting Seething Song and Pirate's Pillage. Go for the Pillage. We're going to Offering the Familiar, and another Offering on the map. Swing for 1, play a Swamp, and we have a good amount of removal now for when they start getting their creatures. Maybe I should have mapped onto this to increase the clock a little bit. They go for a Seething Song. First Day of Class reveals Firebending Lesson, which they do just kill this guy with. There's the Anarchomancer, which I'm just going to cast down before they get even the ability to cast anything for cheaper, because the First Day of Class puts a trigger on the stack. Leyline Weaver. It does gain haste, so maybe I should have done the same with that one. I think it's fine. I'd rather hold up the cast down for if they get a Seize the Storm that I really need to kill instant speed, whereas I can extract this on our turn. They only have 3 cards, so I'm hoping it won't be a big deal. But Anarchomancer does change that a little bit. I will kill the Anarchomancer. That one's just too good. Reduces everything. This is only 4 drops and higher. Big score. Cast that in response. That goes off. They swing for 3. And I'm going to cycle a Landscape. Oh, but they just concede. I was going to extract a Confession on their guy, so they were in a tough spot for sure. Well, who knew this was going to be the combo killer, winning both of our Spy matches and then Ruby Storm. Certainly, I think this deck could use some improvement, but Cleansing Wildfire is a really good card against Spy, and Geomancer's Gambit obviously just gives us additional copies. We saw why it's not the best card ever. It's expensive, it's hard to fit in, and legitimately just 8 copies of this card is really quite a bit. If we had an exact copy of Cleansing Wildfire we could play, I feel like maybe 6 would be around where you'd want to cap it. Even in like a Jund Wildfire deck, I don't think you'd want 8. So if I were to continue playing this, I'd probably drop a couple Gambits or something. It wasn't terrible. I feel like there's probably something to this. Like, we could definitely improve on it quite a bit, and it could use some work, but I don't know. I didn't hate it. There was a good amount of synergy for sure. Even though we had 8 of these, it felt like we did not get the starts where we had more than 1 or 2 most of the time. Of course, I guess I was pretty liberal cutting the Gambits in the sideboard, but I don't know. Let me know what you thought of this deck. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.